Peace, everyone. My name is Jasmine, and this is my journal. Today is February the 19th, and this is my journal entry. Well, lately I've been channeling messages, so I've been doing a lot of automated writing, and I've actually been receiving some beautiful messages. I'm still in the beginning process. I used to do a lot of automated writing years ago, and I haven't done it much often, but lately I've been doing it. So I'm still trying to, perfect it to get more deep, into a meditative state when writing. But I have been receiving some very beautiful messages. So it's become very fun. I decided to start it after I signed up for a free trance mediumship class, and I'm happy I did it. She talked about, when beginning to do trance, doing automated writing exercises. Maybe at the end of this, if we have time, I will tell you one of my trance stories. um, I'm kind of uncomfortable with trance. I'm kind of a quote, as I call it, spook boo, unquote. So I figure I'll face a few fears, and trance is something that's out of my comfort zone, but I do know that I'm very fluent with it. I haven't been recording as much or journaling as much because of depression. The crazy thing is when you're depressed, that's the time when you should be journaling the most. And those are the times where I don't have anything to say. Honestly, I have been spending a great deal of time alone. I try to get out here and there, but I just don't want to do anything, honestly. Um on Valentine's Day, my friend Tisha, and my friend Shelby had a nice dinner. We went out to Benihana. I did receive a gift. I received some flowers and a card from one of my friends. I was very thankful for that. Um, Besides that, I just been spending time alone. Yesterday, I went to lunch with one of my friends, and today we went to church. I've been to church the past 2 weeks, which has been the services today was pretty good. Last week it was okay, um, but today's service was it was really good. Um, that's pretty much it. I just been spending a lot of time alone, a lot on my mind. Um, since I've been embarking on healing a lot of old trauma, healing is not like it's not like, okay, you're in this hole, and you just gonna dig yourself out, and once you dig yourself out this hole, you'll be completely healed. I have my moments when I'm feeling great, and I feel like I'm doing really, really good, and then I have my moments when I don't, and that shit bother me. I might have a dream or something might throw me off, and then I don't be feeling good. So it just shows that I still have more healing to do. It's like a roller coaster ride, honestly. And since I'm a lot more expressive with my emotions, I'm learning how to deal with them better. So instead of suppressing them, if I need to cry, I just take time to cry or feel whatever emotion I'm feeling, and then I let them go. I think what triggered the last bout was I was on the phone with one of my buddies. I'm not gonna say his name, but we had a conversation um about R. Kelly, and he was just basically saying that he's one of those people who's an R. Kelly fan, and he didn't believe it was fair that R. Kelly was in prison for whatever he was in prison for. And I just feel like if he's guilty of what people say he's guilty of, I wasn't there. I can't speak for their situations, but if he's guilty of that, then he did some hurtful things to some people. And just because he made great music and he was this great person, that doesn't excuse him from his behavior if that's what he did. And my friend just he was just very dismissive of it, very dismissive, like, oh, well, they need to let him out of prison so he can keep making music. And I'm like, well, what about those women who are victims? How do you think they feel? You know, Imagine going public with something like that, or speaking publicly about being violated, or hurt. just to be ridiculed by the public because the person that you're accusing is a person of high status. I mean, it's difficult. But what really triggered me was when he was like, well, these girls, they're fast and they wear this and they need to watch how they dress. And I was just like, what? He just immediately went to villainizing these teenagers. Uh when I was in high school, these grown men used to come pick up these girls and they used to be fast and running around with these grown men with no clothes on and da 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 da. But he never said anything about these grown ass men pulling up to these high schools looking for these girls. It was just a very triggering conversation. So, it just kind of like, it just sometimes when it comes to stuff like that, it just sometimes it don't take much to trigger me. So I know I'm still mastering that and I'm still healing from some things. And it's okay. Yeah. People entitled to their own opinion. It's okay. It just rubbed me the wrong way. It really did. Like, I remember I had counseled this girl and she had experienced something triggering traumatic like that, and she had went to the police and she told me the first thing they asked her was what she had on. Like, what did you have on? It wasn't like, what happened, what did they do to you, are you okay, you want to go to the hospital? It was, what did you have on? Swear to God. Oh my goodness, that shit just get up under my skin. Maybe I'm in the wrong field because sometimes I often feel like I need to be a voice for these women who often don't have a voice because I didn't have one. It just pisses me off. On another note, I did teach my second official mediumship class. It went well. I did realize that class that I taught, it was on evidential mediumship, that at a beginner level they're not ready to have that kind of talk. So I am going to keep that class, but I'm going to rearrange the order. I had a feeling that I would. So I think I need to keep it very basic for this first series, and then the second series I can go more advanced. Again, I'm just thankful to my teacher for giving me the platform to do that, to see how I want to teach or how I want to move and how the students respond to it, because it's really giving me a wholesome idea on how I can fix the curriculum or teach the curriculum, which is awesome. Well, I'm sorry, I got a little sick. What else is going on in my life? I've inherited 2 grandcats. My daughter couldn't keep her cats no more. She done bought me 2 more cats. Y'all, I'm like a real life cat woman. I'm single and I have 4 cats now. What the hell? Like, what the hell? And you know what? I'm actually becoming quite okay with that. The cats are cute. They're fighting each other right now. My fat cat, the first cat I ever got, he's just whooping everybody ass right now. He even whooped me and my daughter ass. Imagine, he's like a 30-pound cat. So it's not like he's a little bitty cat out here making trouble. He's happy. We still love him. I put him outside though for a few hours to calm him down. He came back in, and now the way my house is set up, when you come in the front door, there's a couch right there. He sits behind the couch and he just hisses at everybody walking in the door. So he got an attitude right now. But it is what it is. What can I do? So spiritually, I've been working on deepening my meditations. And when I say deepening my meditations, I mean literally connecting with my higher self and connecting with spirit guides. And I'm going to talk about an experience that I had the other day, maybe a few days ago. I had a very emotional night. It was probably about a week or two ago. It was ugly. I made me a spiritual bath, lit a candle, lit some incense, put my little herbs and stuff in the bath, and I was in the bath cooling. I got a bottle of this wine. They sell it at Walmart. It's called Purple Rain. And before I knew it, I realized I drank the whole bottle. Mind you, I'm not a wine drinker. So I was pretty intoxicated. And I came and laid down and passed out on the bed. Just crying, 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 crying about what, I don't know. well, I do know, just overwhelmed about having to care for these kids. They always need something. Their hands are always out. I don't know how I'm going to provide for them. I'm trying to figure out ways to make more money, figure out ways to work more. And then my daughter's got another baby coming. We got to pay for a baby shower. She still needs support. She's only 21. So it's just like, I feel like I have to support all these people, but I don't often feel like I have a person or people I can lean on. So it becomes frustrating sometimes. So I was very tearful, and I passed out on the bed, and I had this dream that my stomach was hurting real bad, and I went to the hospital. When I went to the hospital, the doctor told me like, and it felt real too. He was like, "You're about to deliver a baby," and I said, "I can't be pregnant. My tubes are tied." He said, "Well, you need to push. The baby coming." So I pushed this healthy, full term baby out. And I'm sitting here doing the math in my head. And they were like, "Well, do you want the father involved?" Of course I know who the father is. And I'm like, "No, me and him don't speak no more. I don't want him, I don't want to be bothered with him anymore." Well, he just pops up in my dream in the doorway. And I looked at him. I was like, "Why don't you just disappear like you always do?" I mean, I called him some choice words, but I'm not gonna say it on here. He disappears and the baby disappears with him. So me and my daughter, we get on these bikes. It's my 7-year-old daughter. We on these BMX bikes and we ride our bikes to his house. Mind you, he lives about 2 hours away in Indiana. But we drove our bikes over. We rode our bikes over his house, and I was banging on the door. When I answered the door, he answered it. His girlfriend was behind him, and she was holding my baby. So me and him get to fighting at the door. I'm like, "Give me my baby back," and he's like, "Jazz, calm down. This is not your baby. This is our baby." And I'm like, "You stole my baby. You came to the hospital and stole my baby." And I'm like windmilling. I'm trying to uppercut him, and he's just holding me back like this is not. So finally, my 7-year-old tapped me, and she's like, "Mommy, that's not your baby. We need to go." So we get on these bikes and we ride away down while we're driving down the highway with traffic, and we turn off. It's like a little highway that turned off of the main highway. We turned our bikes on the highway. It was empty. And we rode it for a minute, and then the road ended. And it was nothing but like this huge grassy never it felt like a never ending field. And I looked at Kyla. Side note, in my dreams, Kyla's always very wise. She feels much older than me when she appears in my dreams. And she is a very gifted child. But I looked at her and I said, "Well, we probably need to go turn around and go back the way we came because, the road ended." And she said, "Mommy, you don't have to go back this way. You don't have to go back that way again." She was just like, "Let's just create a new road. Let's just go this way." So she got in front of me and rode her bike, and we created this little bike trail through the grass. And I rode my bike behind her. And after a while of riding our bikes, we came to this another busy highway, and there was this man waiting for us. He had like a car. The car looked like it was from like the 1970s. It was a real long, big car, like one of them old school Cadillacs. And he was sitting there, but he was dressed like he was from the 80s. Like he had like the members only looking jacket on they used to wear back in the 80s. I was popping. His hair was like greased and combed over, and he had on like these big old sunglasses, and he had like a thick mustache. And he opened the door and escorted us into the car and put our bikes in the trunk. And then I woke up. So I woke up about 3 a.m. and I was up for about an hour, still a bit emotional. And next thing you know, it just went black. Like, and imagine I'm really awake at this moment. Everything went black. And I start seeing these my eyes are closed. I know I'm out of it. Like I passed out. I don't know what happened, but there were like these flashes of light. Like I felt like I was watching lightning strike with my eyes closed. That's what it felt like. And then I went into another dream. I don't know if I fell back asleep or what, but I was at this hotel and there was this Asian man standing at this front desk. His name tag said Dan. So I said, "Hi, where am I?" And he looked at me. He didn't smile or nothing, but he spoke to me very softly. And he was like, "I'm your spirit guide." And he was like, "You're in overload. You had a seizure." So I was like, "Well, what can I do?" He was like, "Well, they're working on you right now. Go in the other room and talk to somebody that can help you. And when I walked in the other room, it was my friend Rachel, who does suffer from epilepsy. This is my loctician. Shout out to her. I love you. Thank you for taking care of my hair and making my locks look all saucy. But anyhow, so I woke up the next morning at about 8:30, 9 o'clock. I called her to tell her about the dream and just got her advice on like how she felt about her seizures and stuff like that. I didn't feel like I had a seizure. I did wake up. Well, I don't know if I had a seizure because I was real woozy when I woke up, which is I was drinking the night before. I drank a whole bottle of wine. Of course I was gonna be woozy, which after you have a seizure, you're woozy. I didn't wet the bed, and sometimes when people have seizures, they'll lose control of their bladder, their bowels. I didn't wet the bed, so I didn't see that. Look at the nurse and me, like investigate myself. So everything was fine. I just felt extremely tired and woozy. And in the dream, she was telling me when we were sitting down in the room, she's like, "Yeah, nobody's going to believe you. Nobody's going to listen to you. It'll be a while before they can prove it." But when I called her the next day, she told me the exact same thing. She was just like, "Nobody's going to believe you. Nobody's going to listen." Just giving me some advice. I'm not sure if I had a seizure. I haven't had any of that type of activity since, but I haven't felt the same since I had that dream. And I never met my spirit guide, Dan, who's Asian. So it was nice to meet him. I've met Olivia. I have a spirit guide named Olivia. I've never met Dan. So after that, I just been really trying to deepen my meditations and be more. I meditate, but I know that I could meditate, deeper than I have. I just want to be more connected with my higher self and myself and source, so I can learn how to process things better while I'm here in this human body. I also been reading a lot about contracts. Before we incarnate here in this existence, we write contracts with people. And look, if you have somebody in your life that has mistreated you or hurt you badly, and you thinking to yourself like, why in the fuck did I choose this person, or I choose for this person to come in my life with me? Like, what the hell was I thinking? There's lessons that we learn. So it's not like a good or bad thing. Some people, they come into our life to teach us major lessons, and there are a few connections in my life I just been questioning, like, why did I choose this? You know what I mean? What's the lesson in this? And if I learned a lesson, how do I sever that connection? How do I end this contract? Well, Dolores Cannon, and it doesn't necessarily say that in her book, but she did something on YouTube when she was basically saying like, you can go give the person love and tell them that you're completely done with the contract. You don't need it no more. You sever it. You move on with your life, right? But I ran into this other lady on YouTube, and she did a channeling, and she was like, you can sever a contract if the lesson isn't learned, but they'll just send you out another contract. Either way it goes, whatever lesson you pick to be learned, that motherfucker will be learned. So you can learn it now, and the contract will just naturally end once you learn your lesson. Or you could just keep rewriting contracts and getting the same shit because you need to, you know, learn whatever lesson that you need to learn so you can get to the next step. And that just totally made sense to me. And then she was like, if the contract is too painful, you can probably look into renegotiating the contract, but at the end of the day, that lesson still has to be learned. And that just kind of blew my mind. I'm like one of those nosy mediums. I want to know like what happened before we came here. That's why I love the works of like Dr. Brian Weiss and Dolores Cannon and Sylvia Brown talks about what's in between lives. I love that type of stuff because that's what I want to know. I want to know what happened before I got here. Why the hell I choose to get here, and then what happens when I go. You know, like about the life review and all that other stuff. That's really been interesting to me lately, and of course the neurology. But that's my entry for tonight. I hope you are all doing well. Don't forget, look, I'm doing this I love you thing with y'all, even though I felt suicidal about a week ago and I was extremely depressed about 2 weeks ago. I'm still finding the strength and courage to tell myself I love me every single day, and you should continue to do the same. If you are interested in any of my services, my link is in the bio, and that gives you access to my TikTok page, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all my social media. So even my website, you can book a reading. So if you're interested in any of my services, you can always click on the link in the bio or just visit jazzthemedium.com, and you can find all the information that you need there. Peace.